call me Joe.
Definitely not at all. Rewrite songs. It's basically Chad will come with a sketch or a really close to complete idea, and then as far as theory, like the only thing he would get into that would be close to theory would be like song structure and just sort of how to like balance a song, but not as far as like harmony or composing actual musical changes or things like that.
It's too complex.
We're not studied, we're not learned musicians. I think Chad can read a little.
We'll see you next time. We'd love to come back to Amsterdam. Thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. I don't know folks so I do my best, but
I think maybe Mr. Larkin had some impact because the story was, you could actually follow it, because I think a lot of our songs are, unless you sort of get the inside scoop, they're hard to know what they're about. But and I think the song about Sudan, hopefully, because it's pretty clear what that song's about. All right, this last one is about the genocide that's happening in Sudan right now. We try to say a little something at every show just to get people talking about it and hopefully send some, hopefully have some influence over not just our government, but when we see something like a genocide happening day to day, it's sometimes we forget as we go about and live our own American lifestyle that's something as bad as what's going on in Sudan is happening. So we just try to keep talking about it. That may be something that where I see people in the States, kids maybe getting more active with that as far as the impact that they feel. They may, there's all sorts of college and high school organizations that are geared towards raising awareness about the genocide in Darfur, and that might be a more applicable outlet than, say, Mr. Larkin and worrying about elder care. So hopefully, Sudan is a song that reaches that kind of impact.
There's a
Originally, that image is from a box, like an old wooden box that belonged to my great grandmother, and it was one of those boxes that fits together, and like a smaller box fits inside that, and a smaller one fits inside that, and this was one of the panels on one of the larger boxes, and in the initial picture, there's a cross on because it's a wedding scene, you know, and there's a cross on the book. But so that's the one thing we changed in the whole picture, was we took out the cross and put the anarchy symbol, which is just that move is sort of loaded with symbolism, and you could interpret it in many ways. One sort of obvious one, maybe coming from the Boston, is that we didn't feel comfortable having a cross on the cover, especially given that there was a big expose in Boston about pedophile priests, and we didn't want to sort of support the church in that, or just have that image on the. We felt like it would sort of mess with. We didn't want to promote that sort of thing, because the crow is a priest in the thing, so we thought if the crow is a priest of anarchy, that would be that's much more interesting to us, and a lot less offensive than the way that cross has been abused, you know, in many different examples, but especially in Boston recently. That's sort of been that's sort of what Good Graces is about. Is that the past few years, it's just been the real the corrupt archdiocese has really been exposed in Boston. So I think that that's been on the forefront of our minds a little bit.
Know that she do what the pastor say, just don't tell.